Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Venya and today I want to talk to you about some dumb things that I spent tons of money on and that I really didn't need it. So let's get started. So the first thing that probably many of you can relate to that I spent money on and then in the end I ended up not needing as much as I thought I would are high heels or like high shoes. From a very early age you see that to certain events women wear high heels because they look fancy and they look elegant with like a long dress, and it just seems like they're everywhere and everyone is wearing them. But every time I wore the ones that I bought, even though the heel was not even that high, I ended up changing my shoes after like an hour max, just because I thought they were incredibly uncomfortable. My feet were covered in blisters and I just couldn't wear them. If you can wear them, that is fine. But I ended up buying several pairs of high heels, which I thought, oh, maybe this one is more comfortable. Maybe this one I can wear to this event and this one to that event. And I really had like 3 or 4 pairs and I ended up wearing none of them. I also spent quite a lot of money on them because I thought, okay, if I buy a pair of shoes, it needs to be like good quality so it lasts a long time. But if you never end up wearing these and reach for flats and nice flat shoes instead, then why even buy them in the first place? It is totally acceptable not to wear high heels, and there is no necessity not for any event whatsoever. The second thing that I spent money on that was probably really dumb are purses and backpacks. In my normal everyday life, I always end up using 2 things, and that is one like everyday backpack for university and also for traveling for a weekend trip, and something which is this size, and then I have a smaller one which I use when I just go downtown and I don't need to pack that much stuff. But I have more. So instead of just having the 2 that I use on a regular basis, I thought it would be necessary to have a backpack and a purse for certain events. One that is slightly more elegant, or one that is a bit smaller than the other one, and a backpack where I can fit my laptop in, as well as some papers and stuff for university. But in reality, I never ever end up using these just because they're just not as flexible to use as the ones that I use in everyday life anyway. So they end up just sitting in my closet, me having a bad conscience for keeping them, as well as having a bad conscience for thinking about throwing them away because they're still good quality. They're too old to be sold, so I really don't know what to do with them. In the end, I'll probably declutter them, but I shouldn't have bought them in the first place if I deep down knew that I was gonna use the other ones I had before anyway. A third thing that I spent quite a lot of money on unnecessarily are magazine subscriptions. A couple of years back, I subscribed to a news magazine, which is a really, really good one and which I quite enjoy reading from time to time. So when I see it and the topics interest me, then I just end up buying one and, I don't know, reading it on a plane or on the train or somewhere, and then just chucking it away or giving it away because it is quite an expensive one. But at one point I thought, okay, why not subscribe to it if you enjoy reading it anyway? So I did, and I ended up subscribing for 2 years without reading a single magazine. Yes, I just got it, they piled up on my desk, and I never read a single article. It was just a waste of money, a little bit each month, but if you add it up over time, it just... I'm still mad about that one. Fourth thing that goes along with that one is gym memberships. If you're someone who uses a gym regularly and that is your type of sport, great for you, do it. I think gym memberships are good if you use them, but I have subscribed to so many gyms and ended up not using them. So I was always motivated for a couple of months, and months, and I went quite regularly, and it got quite good, and it was a lot of fun. But then there was a point, like every single time, where I just stopped going and did some other sports instead, which is, again, totally fine, but you have to continue paying your monthly subscription fees. And so if you're not sure whether you'll use it, just don't until you're sure you do, because you end up paying for 2 years and not using it for 2 years. And that is just like a huge waste of money. And that is actually how they make their money. They try to attract people that do not come and use their facilities. So they have no loss in like quality of equipment and damage done to the equipment, but they'll get your money from you not coming. Yeah, as easy as that. Then another thing I used to spend tons of money on before I decided to go paper-free, which you can see up here, a video why I went paper-free about 1.5 years ago, are calendars and notebooks. I don't know if you're like me, but if you're like me, then you end up buying like tons of notebooks, using the first few pages because you dedicate each and every single notebook to one specific topic. For example, this one is for your to-do list, and this one is for your grocery shopping, and this one is for your video planning and whatever. So you end up having all these different kinds of notebooks and calendars for each year, but I always stopped using them. And instead of continuing to use an old one that I had, I always bought a new one. And books like these, this is still from like last year, from 1.5 years ago, and I still haven't finished it because there's still so much empty space in it. Now I'm using it. They are always quite expensive. They're like $5 or $4, but if you end up buying 10 of them a year, that is like $50 that you just spent on nothing and just lying around and cluttering up your space. So think before you purchase another calendar or notebook. One more thing that might also not be true for everyone, but I also spend quite a lot of money, if you add it up, on insurances that I didn't need. For like traveling insurance, for being abroad for a couple of months, and maybe I just forgot to cancel it, but you end up paying each month. And while it is very easy to cancel this insurance, it is also very easy to just keep on paying for it. And even if it's just like 10 euros a month or something, that quickly adds up over time. So make sure you do not have any insurances that you don't really need. Of course, you need the like standard ones, which are really good, and you should pay money for it because they are expensive and they are important in case something happens. But check if you have any unnecessary expenses. Same goes for not only insurances, but contracts that you have for like energy, water, internet, the phone, your mobile. Just check if there are any hidden costs that you do not really know about, but you end up paying every month, and that are just not really necessary. So if you do that on a regular basis, you avoid a lot of spending that is not needed. One more thing that I used to spend more money on than what that was really necessary is modern and fashionable clothes. I am not a fashion expert, I am not a fashion blogger, I am not really interested in that kind of stuff, but when I used to read these like women's magazines where they advertise, so that is in style today, I thought to myself, oh wow, I need one of these. For example, nowadays many girls and women wear crop tops. I think they look amazing on people. Yeah, they look really cute and fun, like belly out and stuff. I really enjoy looking at people wearing these just because they look really cute. But if I decided to buy one, I would end up not wearing it because I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would constantly be like tucking down the shirt and trying to, I don't know, stick it into my pants or cover my belly or whatever. Not because I'm self-conscious, just because I don't think that is comfortable. In earlier times, I used to buy clothes like this just because I thought, oh wow, then I'm more like in style. But I had a huge pile of clothes in my closet, which I ended up not wearing because of that reason. So again, spending money on something that I did not use in the end, huge waste of money, and I definitely don't do that anymore today. And I have one last thing, or one last area of things that I think people waste more money on than they should, and that is kitchen gadgets. You don't need a gadget for every single thing that is in your kitchen. And I realized that only after I moved out or moved into my own flat, that I owned far too many kitchen items that were unnecessary. So, for example, who needs a machine to foam up their milk? Like for myself, I never ever use it. Just because I'm far too lazy, I just pour the milk into my coffee like that. Maybe if some friends come over, I'll use it, but to be honest, I haven't used it was like a hand mechanic thing in 3 years, or basically since I got it. I put batteries in it, and probably the batteries are dead. I don't know, I have really no idea. I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere like far back in my kitchen cupboard, just because I never ended up using them. And same with, I don't know, onion cutting machines and a sandwich maker that I didn't use, and just stuff like that. Really think about how often did you used to use them, for example, when you still live at your parents' house, or are you really going to use it, or is it just something that you fancy for one time and then never use it again? Just food for thought. That was all of my tips. I have got plenty more of these, but I think this video is long enough as it is, so I'm gonna keep it at that. Of course, these are just my opinions on things that are really not necessary to own or to use, or just to think about how many you really need in your life. Or if you come up with any more things that you wasted your hard-earned money on and that was really dumb in the end, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested in what your experience is with that. Until then, I hope to see you in the next video. If you enjoyed this, I'd be very happy if you give me a like and or a thumbs up, or whatever you call it, down there, and subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of things coming up over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. I hope you're having a great day. See you in the next one. Bye.